I'll tell you. I had a boy.
Oh, now you gonna preach to me, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna preach. And you gonna listen!
Yeah, you already know. I'm back here again. I'm gonna preach, and you gonna listen. You know how we do it. You know me, another impromptu live. Hey, looks like a little bit not a lot of traffic out on them YouTube streets and avenues. Seems like it's how you say, like, pandemic level. You know, everybody locked up in the house. Make a change. Welcome, bro. Welcome. You know, this is a safe space over here. Yeah, so, let me start out with what we not going to do. It's a semi-boring topic today. Not really a topic, but semi-boring content. That's why I'm talking like this in this subdued tone. So, welcome and salutations to anybody that happens to come through here at this time. What we're not going to do today is, we're not going to talk about any two individuals today. We're not gonna take sides today. We're not gonna fan the flames of any recent jonts that's going on. Shout out to all the people that listened to my last two uploads. I must say I was mildly surprised that it did get almost an equal amount of fanfare, which shows me that a lot of people here are not as biased as I thought they was. Seems to be an even split, well, somewhat even, down the middle between the things that are, going on. So we're here today to talk about BlackTube and some of the characters, pimps, players, and prostitutes on BlackTube and the shenanigans they're about. So it's a lot of us here. It's a potpourri of different people from different cultures and backgrounds and genders and all sorts of things that makes this a very fun place up until recent days. Things seem to be getting a lot of out of hand. Now, like I said, you can come together in a place for dialogue, discourse, discovery, and conversation, and you can let it be at that, or you can make it an all-out war. Some of us on here can be a bit unstable at times, or have tissue paper feelings, or be a little off in the head. So sometimes we tend to take this thing a little bit more serious than what it really is. I didn't come here to tell you that today. You already know. Besides, do we need another person on the soapbox telling you what you should be doing online? Well, I don't think that you should be told what to do online. And like I said, I don't think anybody should be told what they could do online. In the review of my last upload, uh, I had made some commentary about some individuals who, were in a bit of a warfare going on, and I expressed that all is fair during those rules of engagement, and those two are, okay to use whatever they have at their arsenal and their disposal. However, I do believe that some things we might want to have some limitations on things. But man, I wanted to say this though, for real, starting out. Um, yo, welcome Slander God and welcome Sherry Campbell, welcome. No doubt. I just kind of wanted to drop some knowledge on some things here, man. It's one thing that I noticed while driving down Blacktube Avenue. By the way, y'all, that's just YouTube and all the black folks that's on YouTube, the YouTube Black Caucus, if you will. So there's a lot of name calling and hollering going back and forth, on here. Now, I know I'm having trouble finding a lot of good channels on YouTube. It seems to be the same old thing. It's not a lot. Now it's a lot of AIs taking over. Don't get me wrong. We talked about that last time. I use AI as a tool. AI does not write my music. It doesn't produce my music. It doesn't, it saves a lot of time in creating the videos. So that helps me out a lot. I can spend more time on production. But there's a lot of content that's all, it's like the AI. I said this before. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm repeating myself. The AI writes the script. The AI does the editing. The AI does the graphics. The AI does everything. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm looking for what I think is an interesting topic, come to find out it's just a robot. So I look for real people like you to come on and, give me something that I can, please into the ear, something I can really, sink my brain into and, get down with the get down. So I'm not finding a lot of that. It seems to be, a whole lot of beef going on. We talked about the theories behind it, and what have you, and people become polarized and, they tend to really, really, really act out in a way, especially to be our age. Again, not preaching to you. Do what you got to do. And those who do preach to you, yeah, you're right. Shine the light on them because most of the time they sitting there preaching to you out of their minds, trying to tell you what to do. Like I said, my mantra is live and let live. I'm going to say that on every live I ever go on, live and let live. That's my mantra. You all do what you got to do what you see fit. However, it seems like we're not getting places, with that. Now, back to that name calling. You know what I'm saying? Oh, welcome, Derek Cleophas Williams. Welcome, bro. What's happening with you? That's my homeboy from Philly. Yeah, man, y'all Philly dudes, that's a new breed up there, man. Philly ain't playing. Hey, Derek, I see somebody up there hit a Brinks truck, got 1.8 million. Yo, I didn't even know it was possible to hit a Brinks truck in this day and time. I thought that drop was so seriously coordinated that was virtually impossible. But somehow these, I almost said brothers, but I don't know what color they was, but some way they made off with 1.8 million in small unmarked bills. Kudos to you guys. If you happen to see me, Derek, and other Philly dudes, hanging out, man, scoop us up, meet us at the casino, whatever, we can hang out, whatever, help you unload some of your riches, till the peoples come and get you. So anyway, shout out to them brothers that's on the move with the 1.8 million. Protect your neck. You won't be out there long. It's probably going to be short-lived. Them feds don't play about their money. But anyway, man, check it out. So I've been listening to a lot of back and forth, and y'all know me. I like to talk about the topics, not the people. Welcome, Raw B. I got Raw B and Derek, the day ones in the same room. Mind Chaos Brew. I don't know what them devils mean, but yeah. So anyway, y'all, it's a lot, going on. So look, man, I've been listening, right? with a lot of back and forth that's going on. Like I said, name calling. You know what I noticed in the last 5 or 6 years hanging around here? That there's been a lot of folks being exposed on YouTube. And man, let me tell you something. I just came up with this conclusion the other day. There is a whole lot of crimes and criminals and criminalities and things going on up on this social media. I be wondering, like, damn, who's out doing the crime? Because it seemed like everybody is here. So, I guess being here, if you into your criminal stuff and this is a distraction and it helps to reduce the crime rate, then by all means, sign in and turn on your microphone and keep that going. So I was thinking about it, right, with all the players in the game on here, talking about what the other person do. Well, you did this, and one time you got locked up and arrested for that, and you was accused of this, and the police took you in for that. Yo, let me tell you something. Let me run down just a brief list of all. Now these are all the crimes that I've encountered from people on BlackTube in the last 5 years. The list starts out: theft, petty larceny, theft, grand larceny, actual assault, malicious destruction of property, aggravated assault, murder, identity theft, mail fraud, wire fraud, child abuse, child abandonment, which is a part of abuse, child abuse again, SA, abuse of a child endangerment, domestic violence, drug possession with intent to distribute, counterfeiting. Yeah, we got one here. Bank fraud, prostitution, auto theft, welfare fraud, operating business without a license, tax evasion. I don't know if infidelity is a crime, but that's also on the list. So, yo, do you think I just made this up? Nah, I didn't make this up. This is an actual list of all the crimes from all the records that were shown and some of the things that people actually admitted to. So this led me to one conclusion. If we're here and we've done all of these crimes, and by the way, before you open your righteous mouth to say, it ain't me, I ain't never do no crime in my life. That's great. That's great. It ain't never mean you ain't never did nothing wrong. Welcome, Lorna Doone. It don't mean you ain't never did nothing wrong in your life, but yet, here you are. So here's the deal, y'all. So have I personally done any of these crimes? I'm going to plead the fifth on that. But I'm going to say, even if I didn't, I'm still here with all the people who did all of these crimes, right? So if I'm here with you, the criminal, right, and you with the criminal, then I'm supporting you or you supporting me, and we hanging out, we having a good old time. So what this led me to believe is if everybody, the majority of the folks here got all of these crimes they did, and imagine the ones that we don't know about, then I would dare to say, do any of us really got a right to turn on our microphone and talk about somebody else and what they did? And by the way, you're guilty by association, because if you're defending the criminal, then you might as well go ahead and do the crime, right? Now, my personal philosophy, why am I getting all these plosives? This is the weakest pop filter. Anyway, I shouldn't have made it out my wife's stockings. I should have bought a real one. But anyway, look, the thing is this, right? Most likely these crimes that you may have committed, welcome Steph the Vest and LV, these crimes that you may have committed is most likely in your past, right? That's what I'm saying. Now, hopefully you've done these crimes and you've learned from it. You're not still in your middle ages out here in the shenanigans. So I just really wanted to say that. I'm hearing all this yelling and screaming and back and forth about who did what, and and I just said to myself, I said, damn, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. I'll never hear that one, because if let he who is without sin turn on your microphone, this place will be quiet as hell. You know it, and I know it. So cut the shenanigans, knock it off. Give each other a pass, man. I know it's just content. It's just content. We just talking. We just content. That's what we on here for. Cause we on here for the content. Okay, you on here for the content, right? The key word here is on here for the content, not off of YouTube, not out in the world, not out in my parking lot at my job, not calling the HR office on the next person, not serving the papers and sending out court officers or the goon squad. Some of y'all on the thug level like to send your cousins, Fat Tyrone and Rico over there to handle folks, and y'all know you will. So I'm just saying, like I said, if we gonna be on here, let's be on here and do it, or we gonna get off and do it. Now, I do know one thing though, man. You people, I hear the word tossed around a lot. People say emotional, emotional. You know what I notice? If I put a comment up where I slightly don't agree, I get called emotional. Why is it emotional if I just wrote a blur? How can a text on a screen be emotional? Now, emotional is, I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you're yelling and screaming and cussing into a microphone, some people might think that might be emotional. You know, it could be. It could be, right? But the thing is, I'm finding that we don't do well when disagreeing with each other. That's when the yelling and screaming starts. The question that I think we need to ask ourselves is, why are we yelling and screaming, or the word y'all like to use, jumping out the goddamn window behind somebody we don't know or facts we don't have and all of this and all of that? Now, I did make the comment last time I said we had two gladiators going back and forth with their thing. Let them go back and forth with their thing. I'm still on that. You do what you got to do. Now, but you notice that it's been kind of quiet today because we got, y'all, we finding out we don't have a Fifth Amendment, First Amendment right, to come on here and say what we gotta say. Now we can't say what we gotta say no more. We can't do what we want to do on here no more. Now, y'all gonna get tired of me. You call it gloating if you want. But I said 5, 6 years ago, I was the one that told y'all, and I'm gonna say this on every live. You know why? Because it turns me on to say it. I told y'all asses, you need balance. Didn't I say that? Didn't I say that? I said you gonna need the yin and the yang. You gonna have your effery, but then you gotta have your regular content too. What they say, shut the hell up on the panel. Yeah, just come on the panel. Shut the F up. Blah, blah, blah. Get out, lead the sector. Go over there and do that shit yourself. I'm going to say that every live because it made me feel good. Look at your raggedy ass now. Nothing going on. It's all quiet. We got lawyers and shit out here. It's lawsuits everywhere. People scared now to talk. They scared to go to their channel because they don't want to get shut all the way down. But I said that you got to have balance. Now, so what went wrong? What happened to the balance? Well, let me tell you. A long, long time ago in this place it was called the Umar sector. A long time ago. LV can tell you about this. He's more of a historian than I am, and it seems as though most of his brain synapses are intact, unlike mine that got a little bit riddled during the COVID era. So anyway, we used to have these debates. There were some people on the side of the man. Matter of fact, this is a good segue. There were some people that was pro Umar. And then there were some people, for reasons unknown, they hated Brother Umar. They didn't like anything he was doing. They said he was a scourge. He was robbing the community and robbing the people, and he must be stopped at any means necessary, even if we got to burn down black businesses in the black community to do it, or get black people up the hell up out of their careers. We got to stop this man because he is utterly dangerous, right? So on the other side, you had people that They believed in the dream. They was like, this man is gonna have a school. He's gonna build it one day, and little black boys and little white girls are gonna hold hands. No, I'm sorry, there was no white girls in this school. There were little black boys and little black girls was gonna hold hands in unity and wear dashikis and kente cloth and grow up together. But anyway, so a lot of people put their money into the dream. Now I was trying to figure out how the hell was you going to fit? Let me see. It's 13.9 a million black people, and as you see, 30% of them are children. How was all of them going to fit in that one little building? I don't know, but people was charged up. They was fired up because they believed in this. Now, at some point in time, these two sides clashed. And they would argue back and forth. When is the school going to open? That was the thing. When is the school? That's how you shut them down. When the school going to open? Things got heated, right? And then somebody decided to take it offline. Yep, they got that damn butt hurt. They took it offline. Now, of course, this is folklore and legend here. Who fired first offline? Let them tell you. Both sides say the other side did it first. But the one thing, either side never shut it down. They just kept doing it, right? So at some point in time, the whole Umar thing got boring. It got boring, and some new folks started showing up, right? An influx of people into this space on BlackTube. They didn't really have any content. They wanted to come in and yell loud and make themselves known by attacking the leadership here and cussing people out and just starting up controversy. They said it was fuckery. A lot of them claimed that they built this place. Never heard their names, never seen them, never knew who they were, but they claimed that they built this place. Now, a lot of them was over there riding on Lenin's sack, and that's why I never heard of them. But somehow, after things dissolved, they was over here claiming, they built the place brick by brick. But nonetheless, the content started to go down a little bit. It declined. So people started dealing in effery more and more and more and more because there was nothing else better to do, right? So the effery took over. A few of us started saying, hey, we want to do something different, whatever. But for those who didn't have anything else to offer, all they had was the effery. So some of them claimed they were trolls. But let me tell you something. The first few trolls that I seen come out of this evolution, bro, I seen them cry tears on TV, YouTube TV. I seen them like whine. I seen them complain. I seen them highly emotional and very feminized. I wasn't understanding. I was like, I thought the trolls don't act like that. But lo and behold, here they were. So I started to believe that these people weren't really trolls. I believe they had a secret agenda, something else, more diabolical and sinister, which we did find out later. So things escalated. And then things started breaking down into different factions and teams and sides. Now you got basically it's been split into two sides again, which I guess is a healthy way of having, discourse and going back and forth and things. But the problem is it ain't built on nothing. It's just two sides, right? It's not built on like black excellence or we're trying to stamp out black fraud or fraud in the community. It's not based on any of that. It's just based on who's the most popular person in they bullshit. Now, my personal opinion, in the last live I told you, these folks got a right around here to do whatever they want to do on BlackTube. My opinion is it's your business to do what you want. Take that bullshit off of YouTube. Everybody's all caught up in it and mixed up in it and this and that. And you can't say nothing. If somebody pulls out, hey, I got a fact to prove something. Oh, we got to have 16 hours of just shouting the person down, calling them names, whatever. But hey, look, you're going to do what you got to do. But I'm back to what I'm saying. There's a criminal element here. There's some people that work hard. And like I said, don't say because you got a job in the career, you any better than the criminal, because you right here with the criminal, holding hands with the criminals, holding hands, defending, caping for, jumping out of windows, yelling and screaming, waking your goddamn kids up and your wife with all that yelling in the microphone. And then, so what can I really say? You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want, that's what you want. But now we're in the stage of it's a lot of lawsuits and things going on. People want to shut down and silence the folks. Now what y'all going to do? They shutting down your effery. Well, I guess we all going to become one big, happy, boring sector. Do you realize that while you sitting here yelling and screaming and getting all emotional behind people you've never met and don't know and ready to kill and ready to just co-sign any weak ass evidence that you can get your hands on or have seen? And by the way, this isn't a jab at anybody. I just think you can apply it to either side. Because matter of fact, if you ask one side, they say the evidence is weak over there. You ask the other side, they say that evidence is weak over there. So like I said, weak ass evidence of what happened. And, he just said weak evidence. I think he tried to take a shot at me because I think he passive aggressive and I think he really wanted to say my name. So now I'm going to attack him because it looked like he's siding with the other side. And I can't stand that. I can't go to bed at night. I can't sleep good. Even though I'm rich, I drive a Porsche. I got a big ass house. I got 14 degrees. No, it's just going to keep me up at night knowing that somebody don't agree with what I'm saying. Which leads me to that point. Why can't somebody disagree with you? Why do they have to see it your way? Why is it so important to you to have me believe you? Why? If you know in your heart it's the truth and the facts and it's the way that it is, then that's the way it is. That should be sufficient. It should be enough. It shouldn't be enough that you have to have the whole society see it the way that you see it. So now, and if you do have, let's just say, for example, you do have the truth. And you have all the facts, and you are 130% right in what you know. Now what? Now what? Wave it around, yelling in the mic, shuck your finger, nan, the boo-boo. What now? It don't change anything. Don't change nothing. These people are who they are. You want my honest opinion, though? I don't think nobody on here worth defending. It's not. Why? You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. Me, I like to just tell the stories about it. Y'all know me. I'll drop a song from here to there. And I like to laugh about it. Is what I do, personally. It's a good source of humor. Now, you do have some grifters in your midst. Those who don't give a damn, what's going on or what side is winning or losing. They just want to make some money off of the topic. I ain't mad at them either. By all means, shit, if you're going to sit there for 8 hours broadcasting one side or the other side, then you definitely should get paid for doing that, Man, it leads me, though, take me to my community where I put up a couple of posts on things. Yeah, I'm on here. I'm just passing some time, man. I just did a voiceover audition. I was sitting here. I needed to switch the mics so I can have one for performing on and one for recording on. And I was dropping something. Matter of fact, there was a comment on one of the songs we dropped, and it just it actually I didn't respond, but I just wanted to share that, And by the way, when I put out stuff, man, again, my stuff ain't never about malicious intent. You know what I'm saying? That's why I did 2 songs. I'm like one on one side laughing, one on the other side laughing at it. It's not about malicious intent. And if you take it that way, like I said, just let me know, drop me a line silently, and I'll make the adjustment. They basically, my sister-in-law, she wrote, I have mixed feelings about this. Y'all did make some good points, but for some reason, I get uncomfortable with ridicule of real life situations. Sometimes even for the individual. There are some justified reasons for ridiculing a person who calls himself the king troll. However, I'm at the point where I can't be mad at him. I just see his struggle. This probably sounds corny, but it's really how I feel about it. But I did enjoy this for many reasons. Great singing, production, so on and so on, And let me tell you something. What I like about that comment is the sister was basically, saying she has compassion for the people here. And just the truth be told, I got compassion for the people here too. You know, I you remember what I always said, y'all. It's easy to point a finger, call somebody a criminal and what they did. But if y'all really look close at the mechanism that's happening here on Black Tube. Notice the pattern here. The people who get exposed, right? You ever notice they got the most to say about other people? And they're the loudest and they got the most shows and they are slaying the most people under the guise of trolling, right? Now, of course, some of you are angered by that. You say, well, your ass was out here doing all this dirt on people. Every time I turn around, you got somebody up on the big screen, putting they shit out, laughing, having, exposing it, talking about its content. But now it's your turn. All of a sudden, it's duck and cover, right? So y'all mad at the individuals, right? Well, if you really look at it, right, people who point the fingers at other people are definitely trying to draw their attention away from themselves. Wizard of Oz, ignore that man behind the curtain. You know what I'm saying? So that's the mechanism behind it. You should already know, like, why they're doing. Welcome, Damu. You should already know why they're doing what they're doing. Now, see, me being the person I am, I see that. That's why, and at first, I used to get all bent out of shape when people would throw me out there. But then at the while, I kept saying, damn, why I keep bumping heads with this sister? Seemed like we cool 1 minute. And then this broad, all of a sudden, she like up on the panel screaming. I'm like, yeah, it's more to that. So to me, what I see it as this, I see a lot of us got sorted things in our past. We ain't where we want to be in life. That's why we come on here and project the images we want you to see. We're all rich. We're all successful. We all drive high-end European sports cars. We got houses. We got property. We got all this stuff. We're handsome. We're all beautiful. All these things, right? But truth of the matter is, when I hear people going about that, the first thing I say is, what's inside of this person where they feel like they got to always put something, big themselves up or look big and grandiose. I talk to a lot of wealthy clients on a daily basis. They never talk about what they own because they understand what ownership truly means. It's an illusion. You know what I'm saying? What's up, UT? What's up? What that Queen Street like? So, when you look at it, you understand why. Why we gotta come on here as men, why we gotta show off. Look at me. Welcome, D7. Look at me. Look what I got. Look at all my material success. Look at all my money. Now, again, if you understand how the human ego works, you'll understand why that's happening. So yeah, it make y'all feel good when a person get took down a couple pegs. Back in the day when I used to come on, I was more so in preacher mode. And there was a sister here, whatever happened to her, Scarlett, who, we was cool at one point in time. But then, when I got into it with somebody on the microphone, she was like, yeah, like celebrating because I guess allegedly I got told off or something, you know what I mean? But the thing is, I didn't know her from a can of paint, but for some reason she was emotionally attached to the idea of my downfall, which a lot of us are. We like to see that. We want to see the troll get destroyed. That's why we on here doing the things. That's why we come on. And then sometimes we empathize with the individual. We say, yeah, you did a lot of fuck shit, but we like your personality because you make us laugh, or you might give us money, or you might just be a funny person, or maybe you're a sexy person, a beautiful girl or whatever. Yeah, I mean, so we tend to choose a side, and I mean, we've all said it. We've all had the same complaint on BlackTube of why is it that when one person do a crime, you're like all over that. You don't need no facts. All you need is a blurred text message, or all you need is hearsay, and then you're doing a 2-hour live condemning the person. But then on the other side, you could have a whole videotape of a person giving a confession, and you just like completely ignore that, right? Like kind of how they do in this administration. There's reasons for that, I don't know. We'd have to ask the individual. But if you ask an individual, if I go to either side or the other and say, hey, Why are you ignoring the facts on this one? They'll say, well, what about the time? And what about when he did this? Man, come on, those whataboutisms. What about this? What about that? I mean, it's nothing wrong with supporting the people you want to support. I'm here just to tell you, do you really understand how the mechanism works? Yeah, there's a lot of us here, man, that ain't doing the things we want to do in life. We're not where we supposed to be, where we would like to be. And so we kind of gravitated this energy level with a lot of other people in the same boat. So what do? We got to tear down those other people because it makes us feel better about ourselves. And if you one of these people that say, and I'm gonna tell you something, you could pick any individual here. Trust me, we all got shortcomings. Now, some of us say we here for pure entertainment. Well, if you're here to watch, as you say, a bunch of criminal people yell and scream and cuss each other out on a daily basis, and you sitting up in the audience with all of your success and wonderful marriage and big house and all these other things, then you got to ask yourself a question too. Why are you here? I ask myself the question, why am I here? I don't know, man. It's just I say it's entertainment. You know what I mean? But with all due respect, it's definitely something to do with more of my time. Remember the time. It's definitely something else to do. But yeah, I just wanted to, break that down, man. That's the reason why, if you ain't figured it out yet. If you're talking to one person and they're telling you how much stuff they got in their life and how great and wonderful it is, but then ask yourself this question. If your life is so great and so wonderful, why all you do, the majority of what you do is tear other people down, embarrass people, and all that shit? Why are you doing all that, man? I ain't never seen nobody, a successful business person that's out here running around in the company. Hey, that's what he did. Putting out trip lines and shit and putting whoopee cushions in people's chairs and thumbtacks and shit, just acting a damn fool. When you're successful and you got it going on, for you people that got kids at home, man, it ain't no whole lot of time to be out here, embarrassing. Now we say it's just content. It's just content. Yeah, that's what y'all used to say when it was all getting done. It was just content. But now, when it come time that everybody's getting exposed, now what? You know what I mean? It ain't content no more. Oh, that's wrong. That went too far. No, it's all too far. If you think about it, like I said, if you want to roast, ain't no problem with roasting, get on the panel, talk about each other, mother, whatever, roast, keep it there. But if you're here and you got soft feelings, this might not be the place for you. But yeah, that's what I see when I see it. When I have people, trust me, even the ones, people look at me sometimes, why you ain't say something back? Why you ain't do something to this individual? That girl, she did that to you, and all you did was just, you ain't even say nothing. You're cool with her. You're talking to her now. You know why? Because I see inside of her. I see. She got a glass forehead, and I'm a big old bottle of Windex. I see right through them. I can see the pain. I see the shortcomings in their life, and I see why they acting out. Can I tell y'all a secret? Back in the day, I used to be drawn towards people like that. Cause I used to, especially the women, I used to be like, why is she acting like that? Why is she acting all wow? And then I would, after I get close to her, I'll be like, oh, okay, that's a shield. You trying to hide something. There's a shortcoming within yourself or your life where you feel like you got to do this. So yeah, y'all, next time you see somebody talking about how rich and wonderful they are, but then everything out of their mouth is ridicule and tearing people down, you better believe they got some bones in the closet and it's something to see. I read off a list of all the criminal activity that I've seen in this section of BlackTube, and it's a whole lot to go around. Now imagine if we had everybody's records on Front Street, we'd see it all. You know what I'm saying? We'd see everything. So all I'm gonna say is this, my personal feeling is that, hey man, if you perpetrating it, you got people on the Summer Jam screen, and your whole life is about embarrassing and shaming people, when it come down to your turn, you got to take the medicine. That's a part of the deal. You don't get to hide. You don't get to duck. You don't get to scream, and you don't get to call the police. You just don't get to do that. You got to take it. You in here in it. Now, if you happen to be, okay, I get it. Well, what if I'm there standing innocently in the middle of this section of BlackTube. And I'm not doing anything because I'm a perfect angel and I don't bother anybody. And then all of a sudden, well, someone started talking about me and my wife and my dad and they in the car I drive. They just started ridiculing and shaming me. My whole question is, why are you here? You telling me you standing in the middle of a bunch of ingrates and somehow you caught a stray bullet, so now you're wondering how? That again, y'all, going to my wall, that was the post I wrote. When I said, matter of fact, I had told the sister on here, I said, nah, this ain't no roasting this ain't about roasting. And I wrote in my post, I stand corrected. A high percentage of the activity in this section of YouTube is based on roasting. However, there are many here who lack the ability to laugh and only exist here to be offended daily. This makes no sense. Why go to the barbershop if you don't want to get a haircut? So my question is, if you hanging around here claiming you so innocent, I'm just an innocent person, I'm trying to put my kids through school, and these people just suddenly attack me, why are you standing in the midst of all these people? You know what they about. You know they own guns. You know they criminals. You know what they can do. So why is you here? You know what I mean? What do you do in your real life? Do you just get in your car, leaving your special section of urban suburbia and drive down into the most hoodiest hood of the hood ghetto part of town and just stand out on the corner with people you don't know? And then when you get robbed, you sitting there like, y'all can't believe they stuck me up. Well, shit, you in the middle of a hood in this high-end BMW standing here, business casual dress, and now you're a target and you got hit. That's what happened. No doubt. So let's all stop the bullshit like like we here and we innocent, excuse me, and we only here because we just want to have some clean, good-natured fun. Let me tell you something. You're not here for that. You're here to watch the people, the rich, successful people that spend all of their content tearing other people down. You're here for that shit. You know why? Because some of it is funny. Damn. Some of it is funny. And something is sadistically dark deep inside you where you like to see people get fucked all the way up. Yes, you. Yes, you. The doctor, the nurse, the lawyer, the head of HR. So, if we can understand this, we should all be able to get along and enjoy the effery. But again, I'm going to say, you got to have some balance. You got to have that balance. Because see, now, what happens when you don't have balance? Well, you end up with 100% pure effery. Then what happens? Y'all need more blood because the simple insults ain't working. So what they got to do next? They got to find something about your outside life and drag it into here and embarrass you about it. Then what's going to happen next? They embarrass you, they humiliate you. Now you got to go to the police because you got to take them to court because they done went too far. Then guess what they do? Next thing you know, they got pictures of your house. They doing, and it basically escalating. Meanwhile, you all of you professionals, educated professionals, are still sitting here watching the carnage. You don't try to stop it. You don't say, hey man, let's calm this shit down and get back to business. Nah, you sit right there and support it. And then you divide up into teams. And then on top of that, you know what you do with half of your day? Half of your day, you are watching your ops talk shit about you. And then you know what the other half of the day, you go back to your channel and turn your mic on and talk shit about them. But the thing is, what I'm saying is with 100% effery, it just escalates to the point where it's off of YouTube. Now everybody's channels is getting shut down. We getting silenced. The court officers are showing up at your job. Shit just got out of hand. So my suggestion, because this is a solutions-based platform, is y'all gonna have to balance it out. You can do your little jokey joke and your roasty roast, but you're gonna have to balance it out. And then ask yourself a question, deep down inside when you sitting there on your channel, and I know it don't feel good because you got exposed or they put your criminal business out or whatever. It don't feel good. But then, Remember though, at the end of the day, you're a man or you're a woman. You ain't got to make up lies or fabricate things on the other person or what have you. But my whole question is, at the end of the day, like, what are your goal? What are your goal for being here? Like, what do you hope to achieve? You do realize there's nothing you can say on a microphone that'll shut somebody up. At the very least, all it's going to do is give them more fuel to go back and forth with you. Now, I have visited everybody's chat. I've cruised through all of the streets and peeked in all the rooms to see what was going on, because I support all of y'all channels. I support your content, even if it is pure effery. I'm going to support it because a lot of you got some good. When y'all do your other content, it's really good. But see, what the reason why I say we need balance is because now that it's no effery going on and the feds are showing up at everybody doing shutting down channels, now everybody being quiet. So ain't nobody talking about nothing. So you force me to come on here with this boring ass content to fill up the space. I could be doing something else right now, but I'm here with you. No doubt. But I like being here with you because it gives me my chance to get my installment in, of my boring content. 'Cause that's all I do is boring content, and I do music, which is cool. I thank y'all for supporting the music. I worked hard on it. I worked real hard on it. Shout out to Swisher House. That's where I got the idea for that sample. One day I'm gonna do a little thing on here and show y'all how to chop these samples down, man, so y'all can start producing some stuff too. But I will admit though, I do enjoy the some of the AI songs I've seen. And by the way, hilarious. I would like to see how y'all program them things to do that. Cause you know what, them Iranians, yo, they are roasting the government. Well, they roasting 47's ass, yo, with them songs they putting out. Them shits is, I don't know who's programming the AI to do that, but yo, them joints is like, yo, they fire. They fire. And the sad part is he fragile as shit. It keeps his ass up at night. He gonna be tweeting and whatever that thing he do all night long. And look, that's a lesson there. Ask yourself a question. The most powerful man in the world and one of the richest men in the world, because yes, he done stole several billion since he been running it. This man got all that money. Yo, he could buy you and your family 1,000 times over with all that money he got. He got all that power, the nuclear codes, everything. And this mother effer is still miserable as shit. So why you lying about the money you ain't got and lying about the materials you have? And trust me, I feel you. Deep down inside, you want that Porsche. You want that big ass house. But see, the real reason you want it is you want to come on here and turn the camera on and show everybody, look at me. Let me tell you something. That's an illusion. Let me tell you something. You got more of a blessing with that couple of dollars you got in the bank right where you at. Because you know why? All of the people that's in your circle right now, minus these people on YouTube, these people on YouTube, bro, says they not riding with you. They on here watching your ass crash all the way out. And even though they standing on your side and waving your banner, they laughing at your goofy ass. Please stop. But anyway, the lesson is, once you get all that material, you still gonna be empty. It's useless. It don't really have any value. Because look at the people that got it. Look at some of them. See, wise people with money understand that money is for compassionate acts. They understand that. Unwise people don't. This man is stealing more, grifting more, to more than anything. But yet he still ain't happy. So is that what you want? That's where you want to be? Yeah, maybe you could ride by in your car and show your enemies, tell them, look at me and all this and that. But I know a secret, man. It don't bring you happiness. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Me, myself, if I had a little bit more, that would be great. Now, I had to say one thing, though. I didn't want to make it specific, but I did hear the comment. One of y'all asked in a topic, you said, what was that? Can you go put your hands on $20,000 right now? Now, the answer came back to that was, no, I can't. And then, of course, there was, aha. Let me tell you something about $20,000, which is, by the way, that's a good round number. not being able to put your hands on 20 grand, I will say this. Most Americans can't put their hands on $800 liquid. I'm not talking about your paycheck that just got deposited. I'm talking about after your expenditures. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because y'all know me, finance is my thing. It's not a good way to be. What you want to have, and I said this before, whatever your monthly expenses are, meaning first of the month, you pay all of your basic household expenses. Whatever that number is, let's say your number happens to be $4,000. Then you should have at least 3 times minimum that amount in a savings account, liquid. That means you should have $12,000. My golden number would happen to be $20,000 is what I would want to have in my savings account. Do I have that right now? Well, it's not all liquid. Some of it was stock awards from my company. Now, but technically, if they gave you the shares of stock, you still have 20,000. Nope, that's stock. It's not liquid, which means in an emergency, I have to sell it. It's going to take me 2 days to liquidate it. So that's not really liquid. So what that means is either A, I liquidate the shares to create the capital, or I have to make sure I juice that account till I get it up to, I like to have personally closer to 6 months if I can get it. Well, no, actually 5 months of basic household expenses if I can get it. Because the reason why, y'all, you want 3 at least. The biggest unexpected thing that happens to most Americans is that you lose your job, and most Americans are out of work for about 3 months. So that's why we always say have at least 3 months in your joint, for that. Now, if you don't have that 3 months of basic household expense, what you need to do is you really need to look at what you're spending on, right? Because it's funny, we talk about that. You got to look at what you're spending. What are your basic household expenses each month? Where is your money going? You need to track it. And whatever you ain't doing, you need to start funding that savings account. So I don't expect you to go put your hands on 20,000. But if I say, could you literally not leave your living room and have enough money to keep everything running for 3 months, you should be able to do that. And if you ain't doing that, you need to get off of here and go spend some more time getting that done. I like what make a change. 6 months emergency fund. Facts. Yes, but we like to say that. Can you? I mean, shit, given it, I could put my hands on a ton more money than that. It's not the point. If it's investment income, if it's investments, that's something for the future. So again, but see, we live in that illusion, money, welcome. My homeboy, my relative, a beard of another color. Welcome, brother. Yeah, but sure enough, man. I heard that. It just triggered something. I mean, I said, oh, wow, 20 grand. Yeah, but see, if I was asked that question, I would say, can you put your hands on 3 months of basic household expenses? That would be something I would ask a person. But actually, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't ask that. I would only ask that if I was doing a interview with you and we was taught for some reason we were doing your financial review or something, then I would ask you that question. Welcome, Speak. The Speak is here. Let's just flag down the whole sec. No doubt, man. No doubt. The channels is coming down. People is losing their income. It done went crazy. I will say this, y'all. It ain't worth burning down this whole building over 2 individuals. I'm going to say that. It ain't that much love in the world. Where it's now we got everybody's all wrapped up in the same storyline. Now I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about this. Personally, I hope it all burned down so we can have one big ass boring sector. You know what I mean? That way just be a bunch of adult people talking about adult things. It's going to be boring, but guess what it ain't going to be? Ain't going to be no doxing, ain't going to be no going offline, ain't going to be no police showing up at your mama house embarrassing her. Got Beulah May and her damn rollers at the front door because you online not lying about shit. Emergency fund. I'll just do a GoFundMe. I gotta get to Utah. Yo, that's that grifter. See, Yo, you gotta see y'all talk about the black community. What y'all need to get these grifters the F up out of here. These people always begging for money, man. Shit, matter of fact, let me put my little Cash App banner back up here. I'm begging too. I need a cup of coffee. Yo, but for real though, man, that dude, yo, he took y'all, man. See, that's the thing. That's what I be trying to tell y'all. I be trying to tell you, man, you got to get a control on your emotions and the ego. That thing that's got you sitting up at 2 a.m, yo, hating somebody. Yo, see that man, he massaged you. He finessed you. This man tell you, I gotta move. And it's rougher. Y'all need to help me. Negro, you know how many people is living in the hood? Well, shit, if we gonna do that, let's go empty out. Better yet, I got a better idea. Instead of you leaving the hood, how about we bring down money over there and some paint buckets and we clean the place up? Hey, did y'all ever used to have them neighborhood drives where the city would bring all the brooms and stuff and everybody would clean block stuff? So no doubt, you gotta man, shit. What the hell I'm moving you up? Why you ain't working a job? Yo, come on, man. Did y'all really fall for that? And then I don't have a job, but I need money for my this operation. No, damn well Medicaid cover that. Yo, but see, that's the thing. People come on here, they get you. See, I told you the mechanism is hate. I'm gonna come on here and talk about a man named Umar. I'm going to tell you he is a scourge and we need to get rid of him and all of this and that. And guess what you do? You say, he's hurting the community. He's hurting the community because you identify with something called a black community. So I'm telling you that there's an enemy of the black. See, here's the equation. You got to give the ignorant ones a target. Make him an enemy. He's an enemy. He's got all of this money and he's not doing the right things and he is an enemy. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Santa Barbara, that is, I got my hand in your pocket. I'm telling you, help me hate him more. If you would like to see more content so I can tell you who to hate, please send it to $UtahDrive.com. And I'm going to tell you who to hate. So I get you emotionally charged. You hating this man, don't know him, never met him, never seen him. Right? Because he getting money. Now, why? Why do you feel that way? Well, your pockets is empty. So somebody told you, see, that's the trick. That's how the government keep us off balance. They tell white folk, the poor white folk on the other side of town is barefooted that you over here trying to take their jobs and vice versa. So you keep the hate going. You keep the hate going, you can grift and get paid by being the referee of the hate. So everybody was over there on his side swinging on them balls. Instead of telling his black ass why you ain't out here working. Now, mind you, you working a full-time job giving a bum all your money. What does that look like? So in other words, if you give him $100 Cash App this week because he's informing you about this other man he's calling a grifter, how does that help the situation? The $100 could have been spent on something in your own community helping. See, that's the thing, y'all. This is how they get you. They've been telling you black people, like I ain't one of you. They've been telling you black people for the last 150 years that the wolf is at the door. He's coming to get us. Y'all got to give me y'all money. And I'm now your leader and I'm going to lead you. Where them leaders lead y'all at, y'all? One of them you just put in the ground. One of the greatest race hustlers of all time. Shook down Coca-Cola, shook down Budweiser, got all these checks, all this money. And then out here, illegitimate child on the side, all that stuff. But he's making us feel good, massaging you. This is why I say you got to use your brain to think. You got to start activating that wisdom. You understand what I'm saying? So what I tell you, you always got to look behind the scenes. If you got a black man sitting on the screen with no job trying to tell you what another black man is doing wrong, even though the black man, he might be misguided, but I give it to him, he got a good intention in mind. He wanted a school. He wanted to do the right thing. He just, in his own arrogance, he just didn't want to share the spotlight. And that's why nothing went on. So the lesson we should be talking about in this is how we don't do that, how we don't make that mistake. So if I decide I want to build something in my community, I'm not going to try to do it by myself with all my own antiquated, outmoded ass ideas. I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to get some of y'all in my community to help me. First thing we're going to do is create a plan. on what we need to get done. Then we're gonna realize what we need to how much we need, and then we're gonna do the fundraising. And then we're gonna have everything like one committee, that's the treasury, the other committee. We're gonna have it separated where, you know what I'm saying, it's some checks and balances on this thing. That's how it should go. So yeah, hats off to the brother that tried to do the right thing. But then again, you know, that ego and arrogance grew out of control as well. That's the whole lesson here tonight is the ego and our arrogance, you know, is blinding you. So you can't see when somebody got you on screen telling you to hate. And then these same individuals are behind the scenes on phone lines, mail lines, email, carrier pigeon smoke signals out here coordinating effery. See, if it's roasting y'all, it's on here. It ain't no let's get behind the scenes and let's all form a coalition to go against this. You know, no, we're not doing all that, man. That's a full-time goddamn job. You know, so trust me, I see you, sister. I see why you angry. I see why you mad at me. I see why you hate my guts. It's something inside of you. I understand. Brother, I see why. You had a hard life. That shit wasn't easy coming up. You was in your neighborhood. You was getting teased. Your mama was like drinking or whatever. She wasn't there. She had a bunch of men coming in and out, whatever. You had to get out here and steal, do what you had to do, shoplift. Hey, things got good. Maybe you start, you know, running something, a couple of baggies here and there. Then you got your own little package. You start doing what you got to do. Eventually, these crimes start piling up. Came some jail time. Here you is. Fast forward. They invented social media. Well, I ain't have a good shaking life, so now I gotta look bigger and better and badder than anything else. So I gotta come on here and impress some people I don't know because it make me feel good having 50 people worshiping me because they think I got money. I get it. I understand. But see, then the thing is, doing your shenanigans, you exposing and embarrassing people, then all of a sudden they decide to do it to you, and boom, they got your ass. Now it's a whole war starting. What I ain't gonna do is get myself caught up in one side or the other where I forget what I want to talk about and what I want to do, which is what I'm doing tonight. I dropped the link. It's an open panel. If y'all got something to say about anything, welcome to the boring sector. Not a whole lot of name dropping over here, but we like to talk about the topics and not the people. And you don't need somebody telling you, you know, like I say, what to do. Y'all grown ass men and women, you know. But I hear a lot of that, you know, you say, you 40, you should at least be doing this. You 50, you should at least be doing. Well, I'm going to say this. I mean, I do have some opinions about that. If you is 50 and you're a man, come on, you know it ain't about no materialism. Stop teaching that. Stop talking about what you got. You know what I mean? That's a weakness. You know what I'm saying? It's a weakness. That material. I told y'all before, I said, shit, I got some real estate and a lot as a goddamn debt to go with it. Ain't nothing fun about that. And even the illusion, it's an illusion. Because even when I pay it all off in a couple of years and get ready to cruise into retirement, the government still say I gotta pay taxes on this shit. So when does it get to be mine? When do I own it where I ain't gotta give somebody else money? Man, that's a hustle. That kind of make me want to think. I said, yo, tell you something, man. If I get my hands on the right amount of money, I plan my retirement for the US. If I come into some kind of windfall, man, I'm gonna have an international house retirement home too. I'm just letting y'all know. Shit might get ugly over here. It's already getting ugly around the world. But see, we don't know that because we don't ever come on here and talk about that. We talk about we squabbling back and forth. Meanwhile, on the other side of the planet, shit is getting ugly. All your American bases is shutting down. This dummy done alienated all of your allies, talking about pulling out of NATO. Now he's sitting there with his ass on fire, can't get no help from nobody. Ain't nobody trying to deal with him. World leaders won't even take his phone calls, y'all. Damn, yo, you know it's bad when Yugoslavia don't answer the phone. Like, god damn, it's bad. Greece won't answer the phone? Bad as their economy, they ain't answering the phone. So, you know, by the way, squabble on. But if you wake up one day and all electricity is out on the eastern seaboard and you wondering what happened, Canada pulled the plug, shit. What you gonna do when you can't go live? People say, oh, grow your own food, do this, do that. Yeah, there's some of the things we could talk about. Sure enough. But I understand though, man. Look, we thirst for it, man. We want the effery. We want to see it. Do you really want me to talk about that? Do you really want me to do another what would that be, like the 15th live in 2 days about that same scenario? You want to talk about that? Now, what we need to talk about is coming together and Let's teach some skills. How can we expunge some of these criminal records so we can get the brothers and sisters being able to compete out here in the world, in the work market? How can we do that? You know what I'm saying? How can we help? How can we help the brothers and sisters out? Oh, I'm just being Pollyanna, right? They don't need no help because they did it to me too. Nah, man, we need our jobs, y'all. We need our jobs. We should have the ability to work, you know. But like I said, we not gonna sit here and act like it's all about those who have done crime. You know what I mean? If you're here every day, I would like to hear for all the good two shoe people why you here every day. I told y'all why I'm here. Not a lot going on. It's entertaining. And I'll be here for the humor. Some of the shit y'all say is hilarious. It's funny. You know what I mean? Now, if I started talking about one individual or the other, this was what would happen. If I side with one, we already know what's going to happen. I'm going to get attacked on the other side and vice versa. But if I talked about it both and just kind of gave my little opinion on it, then, it would be a lot more participation in this room. If somebody went live right now and started talking about that, you'll see the numbers severely drop. That's why, I decided to participate in the boring sector, because I want my peoples who I used to get down with on here come back so we can have some of these universal conversations. See, right now they don't know what I'm talking about. They might be listening, but they have no clue. Like, what is he talking about? Criminals and who did what? See, only us know about that. Now I don't want to do that no more. I want it to be more broad. And I want somebody to ride by, see the live, peek their head in, and then stay a while because I'm saying something useful. You know what I mean? He said, I didn't read it. You could always tell when it was coming. He would let his beard grow and get that George Jefferson stubble stuff. Yeah, man, that's crazy, yo. Ain't no way. And some people say that's judgment. I'm sorry, man. I just feel a certain kind of way. I got to get up and work every day and take care of mine. You got to as well. You know what I mean? Ladies, please don't be sitting in your house letting some man lay up all goddamn day and ain't ashamed of himself to go out here and make a way and make some things happen for himself. Don't lay it with no man like that. That's a bum for real. So y'all, I guess I'm saying give each other a pass. We all did some dirt, or we supported the dirt, But hey, I will say this though, on a personal note, it's some people I never see. People I'm cool with, I don't never see over here. Why? See, that's another thing too I don't like. I'm gonna mention that because y'all so polarized to the point where it's like, oh, your boy don't like me, so you can't type in the chat because he or she might see you over here. Yo, let me tell you something. You'll never be that goddamn loyal to somebody online. You better be loyal to your wife or loyal to your husband. Man, I go where I want to go. You know what I'm saying? I notice sometimes I roll up in the chat, don't nobody speak. It's all guys say, what's up, y'all? Nothing, crickets. Oh, he was just over there. Yeah, I'm going to be over there tomorrow. And I'm going to be back over here. I'm going to go around. I'm going to see what's happening, see what you're saying. I usually don't stay a long time. But, man, move around. Unless some fool. Hey, oh, my God, it's the baby mama. Queen of Nerds, Mrs. Mo. Me and Miss Mo, we go back like headlines and car seats all the way over to the conscious sector. But check it out, though. So, yeah, it's like, wait a minute. I'm on your team, so I can't be seen over there. I've seen people actually get G checked for going into other people's chat. I've seen that in real life. Grown ass men getting their feelings hurt because the woman is somewhere else chatting. Really though? You don't own that broad don't live under your roof. You don't take care of her. You don't provide for her. And you got to be silly as shit as a woman sitting there arguing with some man that ain't your damn husband trying to tell you where to go. Man, shit, I go where I go. I say you do the same thing. Go where you go. If that content creator you love so much is really down for you, you should be able to go where you got to go. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I ain't never did nothing to you. What I ever do to you? You know what I'm saying? But that's all right, though. You support who you want to support. You do it the way you want to do it. But me, I'm going everywhere. Bottom line. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I think I might have dropped that link. I know how y'all get. Y'all want to talk about them people, don't you? You want to come in and you want to talk. No, we're not talking about them people. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to talk which one did the most crime. Well, his crime is worse than his crimes. Well, he did the same crime, but his is newer and he had more people, so his is worse. What the fuck? What you doing? For real. What are we doing? Shit, I don't care nothing about none of that. I want to know what you're doing now. Shit, come on here, give me, okay, you got, y'all got all these high-end ass cars, businesses, and mansions and shit. Come on here and teach us some of that. Nobody want to hear what you got. I don't want to see it. Tell me how you got it. Tell me how, give us the secret to the sauce. We want to know how you do it. You know what I'm saying? But no doubt, man, don't nobody deserve your loyalty that much. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I get it. Them cash apps do wonders, don't they? Don't they? 25 here, 50 there. They here goes some money for some gas, boo. All of a sudden, you loyal to death, right? I get it. I don't hand out that much money, so that's cool. So I worked hard on my piece. I can't get a comment from you on that. I can't even get a smiley face on that because your man might see it. Okay, I see how we do. We cool on the sideline. You know, y'all, that's like that. Girl, that's like that that man that date, he always wants you to come over his house 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. But every time you talk about why can't we eat dinner, he always talking about why can't we order in? Well, can't we just order a sub to the house? Because he don't want to be seen with your ass in public. He don't want y'all to know. He don't want you to know, people to know y'all together like that because he don't see you like that. So you don't see me like that? You mean to tell me the East Coast don't like Bombay and speak easy? Well, then let it be known then. Shit, it's all good though. You support who you support though. But see, I support all of y'all. Any one of y'all go live, I'm right there. Well, for the most part, some of this, I ain't gonna lie. I do have prejudice. I can't really sit in the audience, no crying ass, whining, lying ass men though. I can't do that, y'all. I can't do that. I can't sit and listen to the hobo run their mouth, you know. Or if you smoked out of your mind to the point where you ain't even coherent, I can't listen to that shit. I'm sorry. That's a waste of time. So I am. So, hey, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my cologne. It's all good. But I thought we was cool though. But I ain't seeing you over here. Shout out to everybody that did come through. You know, I do like I cruise at about 11 or 12. I'm good with that. Sure enough. But yeah, man, you know, grown folks, you know, let's have some grown conversation. Where's Mrs. Murph? I ain't seen her around. She ain't put in a storm. Did I miss something? Mrs. Murphy Page and foo. Baby, we need a live now. Sunday. I keep clicking, waking up Sunday morning all excited, and guess who ain't there? Y'all know. You know why though? I ain't mad at Miss Murph. You know why? Because Miss Murph is probably out. She doing some things in real life. That's another thing too, man. When you got it going, you don't have a whole lot of time for this. I ain't gonna lie. I told y'all I'd be jealous. I'd be at work like, damn, I'd be having my little Bluetooth in. I'd be like, man, I want to hear this, but I can't. I'd be wanting to come on, you know, maybe get on the panel. I can't do it. Welcome, keeping it plain. The salute, keeping it plain. Yo, man. Hey, Kip. Man, stop letting them people talk about where your girl at and put the picture up, let us see this. And man, you know how that work. The minute you do one thing they say, next thing you know, they gonna now do this. Now tell her to wear something purple. Now tell her to hold up a sign with your name on, bro. That shit won't stop. Man, shit. You got a girl. Shit, you know what I mean? Yeah, and I'm just laughing. That's the only thing I said. That's the only name I said so far. I saw that display and I was just like, man, what else they want him to do? You know what I mean? They want him to do something. Oh, he sound like he's siding with Kip. He's siding with Kip. He over there caping for Kip. He jumping out the window for Kip. See, he just like him. Why don't he tell Kip all that fuck shit he doing? Why don't he tell him what he doing wrong? Cause it ain't my job. I told you that shit 4 shows ago. Ain't my job tell no grown ass man what to do. He gonna do what he gonna do. I got some more shit for him. They can't do me nothing. Man, get your lady off that. Get your lady. You'll put your lady up on that screen. Man, she don't even know. Did she agree to be up on the screen? Is she in the sector? Because next thing you know, it's like, well, she on the screen. She in the sector. Next thing you know, they had her damn job. Next thing you know, they at the dealership while she getting her oil change, eating some cheese crackers, talking about, excuse me, Do you know Kip? Sitting up there, man. Protect that woman. Anyway, um, uh, in fact, she knows. Yeah, I feel you. It's hard to have a partner and have them not know what y'all do around here. I wasn't supposed to be in Kip's chat either. I be over there. They just ignore me over there. And his ass be on the vertical. I wish he know how to do the horizontal because that vertical would be killing me. I can't even flip to the other screen. But yeah, I be over there. I speak to everybody in the chat. You know what I mean? So it's funny though, because he got his supporters, whatever, and they, yeah, whatever, yeah, Otis, whatever you say, Otis. And they do the same thing on the other side. They do the same thing for the other brother on the other side. They be like, I can't, I'm trying not to say the name. They be like, he be like, buck like a dog, buck like a big dog. So it's funny watching the two teams, man. I'm just at the game. I don't even like the sport. I'm just at the game in the audience, like I told y'all. She gonna be on the bracket this year. Oh yeah, shit. She a write-off. Kip be kicking that, but she man, she getting like 40-something thousand a year out of his ass. He got her on his taxes as a dependent. You know what I mean? He got it written under charity, but charity and school expense, But he do what he do. Yeah, I mean, the brother, the original cake daddy, man, he was buying the bags before y'all even knew the bags was in fashion. He was doing it. So but that's his money though. That's another rule. That breaks man code. We don't count the next man's money. Now do we? All right, speaking of which, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Is it time? Is it really that time for this segment? Since we boarded up, man code. All right, y'all, hold on. Man code. Y'all know it's the collection of unwritten rules of things that a man should not do. And since we're here, we're going to discuss man code number 419. Lying on your wallet. Bro, that's the weakest of the weakest of the weakest play. Are you sitting there at the club jangling some keys with a BMW logo on it when you know your ass came there in an Uber and BMW stands for black man walking? Is that what you doing? Are you on screen talking about look at me and driving your mama truck around acting like it's yours? Sitting in front of the house where you raking the leaves, acting like it's yours. Lying about money, y'all. Man code, that's a man code violation. We don't lie about the money we got. We keep it real about our bills. You understand what I'm saying? And if we got it, we got it. And you don't need to know about it. That way them people at the IRS won't be having any ideas of what we moving out here. So nah, y'all, it's a man code violation to lie on the amount of money you got, to lie on your car that you got, to lie on where you live and all that other bull-ish, to lie on that jewelry you got on. That shit is pure aluminum. You know what I mean? You didn't even get it from Jacob the jeweler. You got it from Facob the fooler, on the real. So nah, man code, we don't lie about that money, man. If we 30 cents short a quarter, we gonna let you know. Our stomach's growling, our ribs is touching. We gonna say, hey, yo, think you can get me this time, man, one of them burgers. We gonna let you know. So we ain't gotta lie about that. We ain't got to lie about that. But, hey, I did say if you do lie about it, I understand, because it impresses people. But I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Y'all got to stop that, though, man. Stop coming on here throwing around these cash apps when you know your ass got bills, man. Cut that out. Yo, for real. But see, it says something that I understand, brother, because somehow you think when you hand out these cash apps to these peoples and they showing you love and undying loyalty, like I say, my homies won't even talk to me over here because you paying them and all of that. Hey, ask yourself a question, though, brother, just me and you in here between us. Why you gotta buy people love? Why you think you gotta do that? What's in your personality that's missing? It's probably the same mechanism that makes you hate on everybody else and had to take people down because you don't feel good about yourself inside. And you feel like you got to buy your friends. Did I tell y'all years ago? It was the homegirl Jeannie, man. Jeannie was in the methadone program at the time. Now, let me tell you something. For an ex-drug abuser, yo, this chick was like a ghetto Yoda. I'm telling you. If she was probably one of the greatest philosophers of our time. Now, back in the 90s, I would always come around, hitting the switches or whatever, my little low. I think I had a Monte Carlo LS at the time. And I would always come around. I always had some drinks with me. I've got the 40s. I got the bottles. I'm coming around. And one day, man, she pulled me to the side and she said, yo, people really like you. And I said, really? She said, yeah, people really do like you. You're a funny guy. You got a lot to say. You got insight. I'm sitting there going, where's the ghetto Yoda going with all this? And she said, you really ain't got to bring them drinks all the time. They fucks with you anyway. And I was like, nah. No, she said, nah, man, nah. Man, there she goes. She was breaking me down. She was telling me, she was like, yo, you ain't got to have a calling card every time you come. Now, mind you, I don't think that's what I was doing. Maybe I was. Maybe I felt like I was increasing my value by showing up with the drinks to get the party going. Maybe I was overcompensating. But this chick, man, broke it all. Yo, she told me several things that I was not even aware of, man. I'm telling you. And here it is. She's a recovering addict, man. And she's in the program and she's sitting there. She used to break us all down silently. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. But anyway, I wonder where she is now. I always ask about her when I talk to my homegirl, my god sister. I was like, yo, where Jeannie, man? That chick used to be dropping it. But I say the same thing to you here today, man. You ain't gotta pay these people or lady. You ain't gotta pay these men and women. You ain't gotta pay these people to like you. If you cool, you got charisma, you cool. You ain't gotta plan and feed them negativity to get them hooked on you. People, if you got it, you got it. People gonna like you, they gonna like you. You see, I'm gonna tell you something. What I learned years ago when I used to talk about, hey, we need to do this, we need to do it. Guess what? I stopped doing that shit because you know why? That was a big ass turnoff. I seen some people's like, he cool, but they don't want to hear it. They ain't want me coming around with I'm saying. I was trying to keep it. I wanted to be like the Broke Brothers chat back in the day. I wanted it to stay the same. But here it is on one side, I'm talking some spirituality, talking about the only thing that remains the same is change, or the laws of impermanence, and nothing persists forever. And if I knew and believed that, then I wouldn't have been trying to hold on to this idea of a classic Umar sector, which it ain't, probably will never be again. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is now. This is the space that we're in. So this is where we at. So I say to you, just like Jeannie told me, man, you ain't gotta cater to people to the point where you compromise your own personality or your wallet to be popular, man. They gonna like you or they not gonna like you. Bottom line. And I'm gonna tell you something. If it's all about the negativity to draw them in, then I mean that's not even sustainable. And do you really want people around you for that? And besides, the support that you think you're getting is an illusion. Because I say this to all of y'all that got some shit going on out in the real world, where your shit done got put up out here, or they done, pour kerosene on that fire you had going on. The so-called support you get here, you ever notice? Ain't none of these people can support you in the real world. You know what I mean? They not saying, hey, yo, I'm gonna watch your kids while you doing 30 days in the county. You know what I mean? They not support. They basically, they will, they'll go on their show and talk about they support you and take your side in the story, but it don't really help you once you turn the screen off, all the power gone. You ain't got no support. It's just you sitting there with all your shit on the front lawn and 3 trash bags because your baby mama done threw your ass out with that PlayStation 2 and them dirty ass Timberlands. Now go live sitting on the front lawn and say, hey, y'all, shit done got real. Taekwondo Nation done threw my ass out because I was sitting up in here on live every day, not contributing to no bills. The kids was hungry. I told them to get out my face. They, and because they her kids, she felt like I was disrespectful and she threw my bum ass out. Which one of y'all which one of my supporters gonna let me come live with them? Guess what, bro? they 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 would shut that live down quicker than CE with 820. They ain't coming. They ain't gonna tell you, hey man, what state you in Alabama? I'm coming to get you. Shit. You won't be doing that. They love you on here, but this shit ain't real. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. So you better come up with some content, man. Put it out, go viral, try to make some money. Cause that negativity shit, man, they ain't your friends. But anyway, I mean, it's good for moral support though. Now, if you feeling bad, you feeling low, maybe this, you need your drug going on. Oh man, my family here. No, Juicy in the house. What's happening? Girl, where you been at? I only see you in comments. I got lucky. So anyway, it's the illusion, y'all. That's all it is. It's this is a simulation. Even the sound of my voice. Am I a real person? I could be AI. You don't see me on screen, and even if you did, it could be a simulation. Said that woman that got caught up in that romance scandal that thought she was dating Matt Damon. Man, boy, it's real out here. So it's a lot of grifting, man, a lot of stealing. But I say to y'all, it don't matter how much I yell in this microphone. It ain't gonna change nothing in the real world. And shit getting real out here in the field, y'all. I don't want to see y'all get censored and now can't nobody talk or y'all afraid to say what you gotta say. And what I suggest next time you have your little blackout meeting is you get behind the scenes and y'all come together. I don't know how many, 15 or 20 of you decide, hey, look, y'all, we're gonna have a little blackout meeting and we're gonna make up some rules and regulations of what we're not gonna accept. So you're gonna have to put some boundaries on it. Cause see, you said anything goes, 100% pure effery. You didn't have no guardrails on thing, no inspector generals to check one department against the other for the budgets and the spending, and look what happened. Now, everybody getting told they legally can't talk. You know what I'm saying? So make up your mind what you want to be. See, I ain't saying nothing hard. That's why y'all ever notice I don't be dropping no names like that, really. People used to say, why don't he drop the names? They was trying to use reverse psychology. They wanted me to talk specifically about individuals so they could create a back and forth and create content. Why do I know this? Because that's what they do. They the main ones running around here talking about them, speaking about themselves in third person. What kind of schizophrenic ass bullshit is that? Why is you talking about yourself in third person? What? Who? And always claiming, so I started all this. It's because what is your content, man? What are your ideas? What is the real you? What's your skill, man? Share with us. God damn, all of this. Look at me. I did this and they want this and them and that. Yo, that shit oh my God, that shit make my ears bleed. Come up with something. What teach us something. God damn. And no, I don't teach us about what you own. Teach us some real shit. Damn. Every time I turn around, first one up on a panel with the loudest ass, raggedy ass mic yelling about they try to do, they can't take me down, they can't stop me. Bro, for real? Every time I see that, I imagine a little boy running around in some Superman underoos with his damn bed sheet tied on, jumping off the dresser like he's saving some shit in real life. Come on, man. I see through you. You feel like you got it. You want to be big 100 times grandiose on this mic because it ain't 100. You ain't 100 times grandiose in the real world. Guess what? None of us are 100 times grandiose out here, man. Ain't nothing but a bunch of goddamn bills, man. A bunch of bills and responsibility. I know some of you that's overwhelming for you. You can't handle that. It's cool. Then you know what? Come on here and say you can't handle that, and just ask like, yo, man. Show me how to handle that shit. Coming on here lying shit. Ain't shit in your name. You know what I mean? Standing behind your woman's skirt. You know what I mean? Talking about, talking shit to other people. You know what I mean? I see through that, man. You ever notice certain players you ain't never gonna see over here because they know it's gonna have to be a real conversation. Ain't gonna be no whole lot of I mean, and I am saying, ain't gonna be a whole bunch of that. You know what I mean? So definitely, man, keep it going. Do what you got to do. Like I said, y'all, we was talking 50. Now we about to be 60. It's coming. Ask yourself what you're going to be doing the next 4 years. Hopefully you got some friends outside of this place. I got caught up in it. The pandemic shut everything down. Couldn't really do a whole lot. I'm trying to go to some wine tastings, even though I don't even drink, but I want to go anyway. I can still smell the bouquet. I can sip a cupful. I mean, no, I'm sorry, capful, I guess, just to get the taste. But anyway, y'all, I can't babble forever. And I ain't going to talk about the subjects. So that means you ain't coming up on the panel because I ain't talking about them peoples. I ain't going to talk about it. I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to do it. But I do, I appreciate it, man. Anytime y'all come out, to help out just by listening to me, I appreciate you coming through. Hopefully didn't come off too self-righteous. Like I said, I'm right here with you. I keep saying that, man. Live and let live. I am right here with you. Let me turn this banner off. I don't need your money. I'll take the cup of coffee, though. T.M.K, I have a question before you go. Oh, damn it. It's going to be one of them ones that I ain't going to be able to BS my way out of it because this guy's pretty sharp, even though he could come up here. But I'll answer this question. All right, we're waiting for Make a Change One's question. Let me answer your question. I say they all guilty. No, I'm just joking. But he has a question. This bro, yeah. Make a Change got blasted too, y'all. He got blasted. He pulled out a fact from somewhere. They told him a new one. We ain't trying to hear no truths around here. We ain't trying to hear no damn facts. We want conjecture, narratives, and hearsay. Mac is E.F. Hutton. No doubt he got me in suspense like a mug. Damn, Make a Change. He typing that question. I'm going to keep babbling until we get his question out, y'all. I don't know. So I did good, though, because I was here for like an hour and 30, which is too much of my evening time. It was either this or wash the car. I chose to come here and talk to you folks. Could pull the old Audio Technica back out. This is a good mic for broadcasting. It's not a great voiceover mic because it's a little bit, it has a high noise factor. I've been singing and rapping all in the Neumann, and I'm like, no, that's my voiceover mic. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get no spit on it. So can somebody text Make a Change and ask him what that question was? Because they over there and they acting like he ain't did nothing wrong. Oh, good. He asked a safe question. Is it a good idea to keep your emergency fund in a money market account, or is there a better option? Are we talking like money market IRA, or money market savings? I'm assuming it's not an IRA, but money market, anything, if it's something I can get my hands on within 24 hours, I would say. I'm definitely not thinking like CDs or anything like that, something that, one, you have to hold it to term, or two, risk a loss of the principal by liquidating it early. So, yeah, if you're talking about money market savings, that's fine. I do talk to some folks who who don't have emergency funds, and they consider their investments the emergency fund. But the problem with that is that, if one of your kids get hurt at school, you can't liquidate stock that fast, where you can be on the plane in the morning. Savings, yes. Oh, most definitely. Money market savings, yes. Hey, if you have a lot in savings, where it's one of those high yield savings account where they're giving you 4% on your money, I think most banks, you got to have at least 50,000 or 100,000. Now something like, I'll take that back, because I don't think you should have 50 or 100,000 unless your expense is that high, 50 or 100,000 sitting around in cash. That money should be doing something for you. But yeah, definitely money market savings, segregated, from the other funds. Definitely. Yep. So y'all, the word for the day is emergency fund. Emergency fund. That's right. Water pump go up on the car. It's $400 because you decided you want to drive an Audi and it's $800. she better go get that $800 from somewhere. And no, not from Aunt Beulah May, because you know she on a fixed income, and I know she be saving her pennies up, and you know you ain't gonna pay her back. You think she's nice. I want them kids to be able to get to school. You know, you gonna take that old woman money. Don't take her money. Man, we need to. Hey, I tell you what, though, is a trend going around. There's a lot of Americans are hyper saving. They're doing it not because it's good for them. They're doing it because they refuse to spend money, you know, in this economy, because corporations are they're tripping. Y'all see, that's what I'm saying. Y'all see now, what's his name? Orange Jesus put all them tariffs on everything. He had all the tariffs going. And then they got all these billions of dollars. And guess what? So the corporations raised their prices, which made you pay more money. But guess what? The corporations are now getting the kickbacks from the tariff money because they had a hard time. Here's the question. Who's going to give you your money back for all the extra you spent on gas, food, and all the materials that you needed? And it's funny how that worked. Once again, corporations are bailed out. So what a lot of people are doing, guess what? When I go to Walmart now, guess what I don't do? I get what I got to get. I get in and get the hell out. I don't walk those aisles. I'm not just strolling around the store, picking up random items. I already have a list before I go in there. If I go there, I get it and I get out. And I'm trying to save more, y'all. I'm really trying. It's a little last kid in college, y'all. So hopefully, after next month, I'll be able to save a little bit more, be able to put some up. But I'm lying, because somebody's going to want a car when they graduate, and they got their eye on my car, which means I'm going to need another car note, which means I'm going to have to figure out some kind of way to buy a used car in cash. Is there a way I can do it? What about those private shares, those awards? Can we liquidate some of that? Well, if my emergency savings is fully funded, then I can. If not, that means I'm going to have a car note for a couple of months. But see, the way to do that, the way to buy a car, I always say if you can, buy it in cash, meaning I'll say this real quick. Okay, buying cars, right? What is the car? The car loan is how long, right? It's nowadays a minimum of 5 years. We used to get 3 years, $2,000 down for 36 months. You was done. You own the car. Them days is gone, right? So what would life be like, right? Instead of paying $400 a month for the car plus full coverage insurance, what if you saved $400 a month for 5 years? And you could literally walk into a dealership. But somebody do the math on that. What is that? $4,800 per month, per year. Let's round it up to 5. For 4 years is 5 years. That's $25,000, right? You could walk into a dealership and you could buy a $25,000 car in cash. And then what do? Start saving that money up again. You know what I mean? So basically what you're doing is you're like paying a car note when there is no car. So you have this car fund. If you can afford to do that, y'all, I mean, $400 a month is a good little chunk, you know, if you can do that. So you basically, you're always paying these car notes. You're putting money. Imagine if you got this money in CDs, right? And you build a CD ladder. Like, you put in $400. I don't really want to say that. I don't want to say it like that. But you could, I'm trying to figure out a way to simplify it. Let's do it quarterly. $400 is what quarterly, y'all? $1,600 quarterly. Okay, you go in and you buy a 12-month CD, right? First quarter, second quarter. You know, I don't want to do that tonight because I'd rather have a diagram. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is you're going to buy 4 CDs with different durations, right? You're going to buy a 3, a 6, a 9, and a 12-month with equal amounts, right? So every 3 months, one of the CDs is going to mature, right? The 3-month is going to mature first. When that happens, you buy a 12-month CD. 3 months from now, the 6-month one will mature. You buy another 12-month CD. 3 months from now, the 9-month one will mature. You buy another 12-month CD. 3 months from now, the first 12-month CD you bought will mature. Guess what? If they all have a coupon rate of 5%, you are literally churning 5% return constantly, no matter what you do, by buying these CDs. And then, you know, and for 5 years, you have 5% on all of your money. right? Guaranteed. Buy a car, and then guess what? Do the same thing again. In 5 years, if you decide you want another car, you go buy another car in cash. Sell yours. It should be worth something, right? Boom, add to it, upgrade, get a bigger car. I don't know. It's a number of ways you can do that. Oh Lord.
That's
Oh my
fucked
God.
up, brother. That's fucked up.
Oh no.
I can't believe, like, why would you do that? Like, I'm
What
trying
I
to,
do? What
why
I do?
would you,
I ain't
like,
do
oh
nothing.
Lord, that old, why,
Cause
I'm
I
a,
thought cause I thought it was a like one of them fake accounts. Cause
oh
I
my
know
God. No,
all with
you
all the
saw
hairy
my
booties and
avatar
all the hairy
and
booties in
you freaked
upstate New York.
out.
I ain't think you be off yet. I ain't think you be off yet.
I
I
got one
thought you
more
still be
client,
there.
but I'm on my way. Hanging out with the boring sector. I think I'm gonna have to, because the boring sector is the only thing we got left now. So
That's all.
people,
It's all we need, and it's safe. Channel ain't gonna get struck over here, unless somebody's really a deranged hater. Like, oh my God, they get along too much. They're
say
too
no
quiet. I gotta
names.
strike it.
Yeah, don't say no names. Don't talk. I think that's all we got left. So
Yep.
Photon gonna take a break. So I'm gonna hang out with the boring sector,
Damn.
and
They done set my man down.
oh
Set
man,
him down.
and I support her. Ain't nothing wrong with protecting yourself and your peace. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
support folks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Sometimes we all gotta take a break. You gotta take a break from this, let it go. It ain't
yeah,
it ain't worth it ain't hey look, if it's gonna cost you monetarily, it ain't worth it, you know.
right, right, absolutely. So yeah, what I had just came up here just to say, you know, I'm coming to the boring sector. Photon has
Yeah.
laid his burdens down, and I'm gonna support that. And I just came out here to just say you know I'll be back with a seat.
Cool, cool. Yeah, we got a couple of channels on this side going, we're boring, we slow,
Well,
we
I think me and you can be cordial. I don't know if I'll be at anybody else's boring show,
well,
but
okay, well, yeah, I understand, it's
yeah. So
still some bad blood out here, it's understandable.
right. But you stay where it's safe. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just yeah. There you go.
Yep. Best way to be. Hopefully one day we'll be able to come kumbaya and, let bygones be bygones.
Or
But
just move forward. I think that's at this point, just move forward. I think everybody was able to, say they piece, or all of that other stuff. So there you go. Yeah, just
yeah,
move forward. I think everybody know. I think after all these years, people know who they can, you know, speak with at this point, or who they willing to, kick it with, or have conversations with, and all of that. So there you go. Yeah.
yeah. Again, it's like, you who do you really hate? Like you have to it takes a whole lot of energy to be like, I can't stand that person. It's a whole lot of energy to do that. Like you don't know these people. You never seen them, don't know them. It's a different story if y'all was roommates or something, but it's like
Right,
they said something. All right, well, they
right,
said everybody said we all got attacked. We all said stuff.
right,
Uh, hey, look, if you got the energy to hold on, then hold on. You can hate
right,
who you want. Hey, and and I'm not mad at somebody if they just don't associate. Like they just say, hey, you know what? I think it wouldn't be a good idea for me to associate with that individual. I'm like, all right, I'm good
right.
with that. But the hate
Yes,
is
I
like it takes a lot of
can.
energy for the hate.
Yeah. But yeah, there you go, man. I just wanted to pull up, say, hey, I got one more client. I'm on my way to do my one more client. So yeah, just stopped through to say, I had saw your notification,
Oh
and
wow,
there you
notification.
go.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm glad you could stop by before you go see Mr. Davenport, and, he's Greek, so that's a hairy-ass back, so,
Yeah, I
had
gotta
to
slather that hair down with the best of
yeah,
cream. Yeah.
yeah, no doubt. Gotta sh that's Sasquatch. So, hey, but he tipped good, though. Shit, he tipped like
Absolutely,
40%, shit.
absolutely.
Shit. He'd be like, I'm sorry for the hair. I know that it gets under your nails. I'm sorry, my wife, she says I should shave it, but what do you think about waxing? Can you wax? Can you do wax? Does your
Yeah,
friend
I was like,
Shaquita,
now
does
you
she wax?
gotta find a good esthetician for that waxing. But
He's
I
like,
said,
man, I don't do all that, bro.
and I just slathered it down with the cream. So yeah.
All right, word.
Yeah.
Well, you got to make that money.
Yeah, make that
Well,
money. All right then, Bombay.
all right. All right, see you later,
Great rest
Stargate.
of your night.
Don't be star late. That was a pun. Okay.
Right.
Oh, that was pretty clever. All right, well, you have a good one.
All right, you too, sir.
Woo, the whole room left. Star power. She cleared the goddamn room up in here. Y'all rolled. Can't stand her ass. Y'all rolled out. God damn. Y'all rolled out, son. They was like, well, like the man when in Color Purple when when Sweet slapped Oprah and the man with the piano said, "Up, good evening." And he put the piano cover over the keys. He got the hell up out of Dodge. Y'all rolled out, boy. Shit. Oh my Lord. Y'all have thought Jason was running through here. But anyway, man, it's time anyway. I've been on here long enough as it is. At least somebody did hit the link, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all, man, coming through. I guess I get ready for tomorrow and work and everything because I need to make up for the day. Appreciate y'all and oh, look at me. I ain't ready for nothing, huh? Appreciate y'all and for coming through and hanging out. I leave you with the words. Do I have an outro, y'all, at all? From what y'all know? Do y'all remember? Man, my memory be gone. I appreciate you, man, and I leave you with the words of peace and tranquility. Namaste.